this happened quite a while ago when I was home alone with just my dog. After all this time, I'm sure what happened was really strange and I have no idea what this man actually wanted. So I was watching TV one night at around 11 p.m. when I heard a car pull up outside and the engine shut off. I figured it was obviously a neighbor, but my nosy dog wanted to have a look and went to the window. He kind of messed the blinds up, and when he went to look, I got up to go fix them. So when I did, I noticed a car parked on the street and it was right in front of my house. I couldn't really make out any details, but it looked like the driver was still sitting in the car, and the only thing I could really see in the car were his eyes staring at my house. He had really big eyes, and it looked like his right hand kept going up and down and really fast, and then out of nowhere it looked like the man splattered lotion all over his car. I kept looking, but it looked like the man was exhausted because he went right to sleep right after he spilled all that lotion. I didn't really think anything of it. I got a drink and continued to watch TV. So quite a while had passed since I looked out of the window, but I'm not sure how long. I'm guessing it was about 20 to 30 minutes. And out of nowhere, I thought I heard a tapping at the door. It wasn't a knock. It was much lighter and very quiet. My dog had sat up and he looked at the door, and I paused the TV when the same tapping then started on the window. I opened the blinds a little and saw a man standing there. I couldn't make out his face properly. He immediately walked back from the window to the door and started tapping at it again. I get this doesn't really sound frightening, and I'm not sure why, but I suddenly had a really awful feeling about this. I felt absolutely terrified and had no idea why. The tapping at the door never stopped, but something in my head was saying, if I were to open this door, something really bad would happen. I went upstairs to open the window to ask him what he wanted. It felt safer doing this. He said in a really quiet voice, I have the pizza you ordered. I swear this dude just said something else, but I felt so stupid for being frightened, and I told him I didn't order pizza. I guess he was speaking quietly and knocking lightly so he didn't disturb my neighbors. My dog had followed me upstairs and was letting out an odd growl and bark, which isn't really unusual for him. I was trying to hush him when the man downstairs told me that he had the correct address and I better get downstairs now and open the door to pay and collect my food before it got cold. I was really confused because I most definitely didn't order any food, and began telling him that again when I noticed he didn't even have a pizza. He wasn't carrying anything at all. I told him again that he had the wrong address, and he got very angry. He kept telling me to open the door. He was going between angry and sort of trying to persuade me to come back downstairs and open the door. I asked him where his pizza was, and he said he had it. It was really dark, but he definitely didn't have anything in his hands. My dog was tripping at this point, and the stranger had turned into a broken record. He kept saying, come downstairs, open the door, come downstairs, open the door. All this noise must have alerted my neighbor, who happened to open his front door. He walked out, and then the man didn't say a word. He just turned around and ran to his car empty-handed. Honestly, I have no idea what this man wanted, but this dude wasn't a delivery driver. That situation really freaked me out. When I was in college, I was broke with hella debt from different credit cards, so I decided to start an OnlyFans. I was very reluctant at first, then I just said forget it. I look good enough to make money, so why not? The first day that I was on there, I made it free to subscribe to me so I can get followers quick. Then I linked all of my social medias through my IG. My OnlyFans was on there also. My IG was public, so anyone could get it. Pause. I logged on and I started a live stream, and a few people got on. Then it was just one person. I wore glasses and the guy told me that I was gorgeous and to take my glasses off. So I did. Then he sent me $10. I told him thank you. Then a message popped up on the screen. You have nice lips. "Can you put on red lipstick if you have it?" I said, "Of course." So I got up and I got my lipstick, sat down, and I put my lipstick on. Then I was sent $25. I told him thank you. Then he asked, "If I give you $100, will you do whatever I say for the next 15 minutes? I told him that I don't think that's worth it, and I was about to log off. He said, no, not yet. What about 300? I gave the same answer. Then he simply just put 1,000 enough? I sat there and I thought about it. Then I said, yeah, I'll do it. Then I set an alarm for 15 minutes. The first thing he asked me to do was to blow him a kiss and smile. So I did. Then he told me to say that I love Adam. Then I said it. At that point, I was thinking that this was pretty easy. Then he asked me, do I have a red dress? I said, yeah. He then asked me to try it on. So I put the dress on and he called me beautiful. Then the weirdest request popped up. It simply said, cry. I asked him what that meant and he said he wants me to cry. So I sat there for a few seconds and I began to try to cry. He typed, nope, none of that fake stuff. I want real tears and emotion. I told him I don't know if I know how to do that. And he said, then no money then. I tried again and no luck. He then put $1,500 in the chat. Well, he typed it. I said, okay. And I walked into my kitchen, opened the refrigerator door, put my hand inside, and closed it as hard as I could. I walked back to my laptop and I began to cry. He put good girl in the chat. Then he asked me, do I have scissors? I said, yeah, why? He typed, cut your hair. I said no, then he typed $2,000 in the chat. I paused for a few seconds and I said, okay. I grabbed some scissors, sat back down, and then he typed, nah, use a knife, not scissors. Again, I paused and I said, okay. I grabbed a knife, sat down, and began to cut my hair. Then my ponytail was gone. He typed, you look good with short hair. Then he asked me to take my dress off and I said no. Then he typed $2,500 in the chat. Then luckily my alarm went off. And I told him that time is up. Then he typed, how about 15 more minutes for $6,000? I said no. Then he asked, do you want these to go public? Then I received 77 photos. I clicked on them. They were from my iCloud. I asked him how he had my photos and he typed, if you don't do what I say for 15 more minutes, everyone that you know will see these photos. I told him, yeah, right, and I closed my laptop. And no lie, a few minutes later, I received over 50 text messages from family and friends that they saw my photos. My landlord told me not to worry about the rent and that he didn't know I was working with a dump truck back there and that I was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. I don't even know what that means. And after that, honestly, I never went back on the OnlyFans. I went and got a real job, something safer. I became a stripper. But anyways, I changed my whole iCloud and everything. But that was the weirdest night of my life. One of my first jobs I had was as an after-hours janitor at Walmart. I worked from 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. when the managers got there, and I was typically with two others, but it varied, and a few nights I was alone. One of the only things I found creepy was the warehouse downstairs. It was the same exact size as the actual Walmart store. We had to go down there to grab the soap to run the machine that we used to wash the floors, but we barely needed to, as there were always some left out for us. So one night I was there alone. I had used all the floor cleaner and I had to go down to the warehouse to get some soap. It already had an eerie vibe to it and it was very dark down there. I walked over to grab some soap and this was around 2 in the morning, so I still had quite a bit more time left on my shift. I was grabbing the soap when I heard echoed footsteps, but I was the only one there. I walked out of the aisle to see what looked like a male in his mid-20s crouching as if he were sneaking up on someone. I asked him, who are you? He stood up straight very fast, like I just didn't see him creeping up on me. He said his name was Josh, and this was his first night on the job, and he was told to look for other coworker for some assistance. He then asked, "Are you the only person here?" He seemed a little off because he was looking around when he asked that question. Then he kept saying stuff to ease my anxiety. I was creeped out, but he seemed legit at this point because he knew the manager's name and he answered all of the questions I asked him. We started working and everything was going well, but he took an hour break at the end at around 5 o'clock, pretty much to get out of work early. He said he would see me tomorrow night, and I just told him goodbye. Then, as he was walking away, he literally turned around and stared at me for about 20 seconds, then turned back around and just left. Like it was nothing. Like that was regular. Like anybody would do that. They wouldn't. So the clock hit 6. Soon after, my managers arrived. I asked why they didn't tell me about Josh. He looked confused. But next, what he told me made the hairs on my neck stand up. He told me there was no night employee with me and that I was there alone. He asked me was someone there with me. Then we talked about it for a few minutes and we went to go make a police report. So the police report was filed, but to my knowledge, nothing has really come up. I quit the job the next day and never went back to Walmart again, not even the shop.